I'm April Plank, and thank you for joining me today for a reformer workout. For this workout, you need a few pieces of equipment. First is your box, and right now I have that set up kind of flush with the reformer, really close to the springs. As far as spring weight, I'm starting on one red spring. Two optional pieces of equipment would be a loop band and two 3-pound weights. And I will show you, if you do not have those items, what you can do to modify without them. So the first thing I'm going to do is put my loop band around the shoulder blocks. Now if you don't have the band, what you're going to do is just put your headrest up, and you'll see in a second what that is going to do for you. Grab your balls if you're working with them, and come into the well of the reformer. So my reformer is really high, so I need to stand on the box in order to do this exercise. But if yours is not, then you'll just stay on the floor. I'm just going to take my right foot and put it up against that band. Now if I don't have the band, it's just going right up against the headrest. Standing nice and tall, shoulders down the back, just finding that gaze in front of me. I'm just going to start by pushing that right leg in and out. So I'm using my hamstring and just starting to warm up my legs, pulling that hamstring muscle to pull the carriage in. Just taking a nice big breath as I pull the carriage in, and inhaling, release. Now my left leg, supporting leg, has a tiny little bend in it so that I'm not walking out that joint. And I want you to do 4 more of these, so we're doing right about 10 if my counting's on par, give or take a few. 2 more. And then we're going to start to add the arms to this motion. So the next time you pull your leg in, circle the arms up to touch over the head and then bring the arms back down. So it's a nice big exhale to circle and back down. So by now you might feel that left leg warming up. That's our stability leg. So we're getting some heat going there. Your right leg is obviously working. Hamstrings are engaged. And you're breathing. So you're exhaling as you pull in, inhaling as you release. Let's do that 4 more times. You've got 2 more to go here. And then your next time you're going to hold it in. So I'm going to take my arms out to a T. I'm holding that leg isometric, and then just little tiny pulses to finish this off. So you're doing tiny little pulses in with the leg and up with the arm. Let's go 8, 7, nice and controlled, nice and slow. 2 more to go. And 1. Go ahead and release. Now you're going to take a quarter turn to your left. So that means I'm going to face away from you for the first set. And then on the second side, I'll face towards you. So your turn to the side, your hips are nice and open, elbows glued right into your sides, and you're going to start pulling that leg in again. So your right leg, you're pulling that hamstring, probably now getting a little bit more of your inner thigh as well. Still standing really tall, shoulders down your back, chest lifted. And of course your abs are pulled in nice and tight to support the spine. We're going to do that about 3 more times. So again, working to about 10 repetitions of each set. And then adding the arms on this one, the arms are just going to reach straight out in front of you in an offering position as you pull the leg in, and then the elbows come back to the waist. So you reach the arms out, and then bring the arms back in. Exhaling as you pull and press the arms. Inhaling as the arms come down, the leg goes out. Again, if the arms are too much, this is just an option to have the weights. It's going to make it full body, a little more challenging. Heart rate's going to go up a little bit quicker. But if this is too much, then feel free to drop the weights and just do the leg work. You've got 2 more to go on this side. And then I want you to hold it halfway. Arms are straight out in front of you. Little pulses up with the arms, in with the leg for 8, 4, and 3, 2, and 1. Release all the way. And then finally, you can shake that right leg out and turn back to the front. All right, we've got to do it on the other side. So now your right leg is stability, and your left leg's moving. So put that left leg up against the headrest, or up against that resistance tube if you have it. And let's start with the arms down by the sides. Just pulling that left leg in and out. Finding your breath, shoulders back and down. Think of that chest lifted nice and bright, abs really tight. don't forget about your right leg. Even though it's not moving, that's the leg that's really working on just holding your spine and your whole torso upright. So keep that leg really strong. Just a subtle little tiny bend at the knee so you're not locking out the joint. Again, we're doing about 10 of these. So we should have about 2 more left, pulling in and out. And then we're going to add that same arm movement we did on the other side. So big circle as you touch the balls to the top, and then release down. Think of that string pulling the crown of the head up to the ceiling, so your spine is staying nice and lifted. You're not leaning forward or back. We've got 3 more to finish this set out. And this will be your last one, and then I want you to hold it halfway. Arms out to a T. Really push down through that left heel and give me little tiny pulses, just tiny. It doesn't have to be anything big. And then little tiny presses up with the arm. Big strong exhale. Really isolate through that left hamstring. You've got 4 more to go. And 3, and 2, and 1. Nice job. Go ahead and release. Take a quarter turn to your right. Now we're focusing on opening through that hip, making sure that knee is facing to the side. Take the elbows right into your side and just start with the legs, so pulling in a little bit now deeper through the hamstring, through the inner thigh muscle. So you're using that muscle to pull the leg and release it slow. So one of the cool things about Pilates is you're working when you're pulling against the spring, but you're also working when the spring is going out, because the spring's trying to pull you out very quick, and you're trying to make that motion a little slower. So you're controlling the motion out. So let's add the arms to this. So you're reaching forward when you pull, exhaling, and back in. Again, the arms are optional if it gets to be too challenging. I know this is a tough one for balance, so if it's too much to stand here with the arms working as well, just take the hands to the hips, and that's totally fine. Let's try this 4 more times. And we've got that isometric hold coming up, so get ready for that. Last 2, and here we go. So hold it here. Little pulses, arms just pulse up an inch, leg pulses in an inch, and you're going to do it 8 more times. 4 more, and 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Go ahead and release that leg. Turn back to your reformer. Moving on to the second thing, I want you to put your balls away, and then take your right foot and step it up on the reformer. This is where your box comes into play. Put your hands on the box. Now use your right leg, and you're going to push up and send that left leg back behind you. Come down and tap this lower box, and do it again. So you're exhaling up and inhaling down. Now your focus here is your right glute. So that glute is what we're working to lift you up. So I want you to think that you're pushing that right heel firmly into the carriage as you lift. You've got 3 more to go here. Just try to lay nice and soft. Your last one, you're going to stay up there. So you're going to hold it up, and then the left leg's going to lower down to the headrest, squeeze your bottom to lift. So I like to think of my leg as just a heavy weight, and I'm using my glute muscle, my butt muscle, to lift that heavy weight up and down, but I'm not using my back. So if you feel like your back is starting to work, then make that a little smaller range of motion, because you definitely want to just feel your bottom and not your back. Go 3 more, and 2, and 1. Now hold it and open your hip to the side. I'm going to bring my hands a little farther forward for more stability. Now your left knee is going to come over to your left elbow for an oblique crunch, and then press it back out. Exhale, pull in, inhale out. So your right leg still has that little bend. I kind of found myself locking that. So make sure that you're not locking it as well. So little tiny bend in that right knee. And if you're like me, your right glute is on fire. But we're almost done with this side. We unfortunately have 2 sides to go. And I love doing a lot of unilateral work. So we'll be doing a lot of just single arm, single leg work today, so that we can balance out the body, make sure our strong side isn't overtaking the weak side. Good. And then release that leg down. All right, slide back to the hands on the other side of the box. Now take your right foot down towards the floor of that box, and we're ready to go on the other side. So I'm going to push my left leg firmly, and then lift the right. And then come down, bending the left leg. That's the important part. You're pushing off of that left leg to drive your hips up. So you're driving through your left heel the whole time. And try not to fling the leg. So it's a really controlled motion of the right leg lifting and then tapping down. Just 2 more to go here of the lower and left. And then I want you to take it up and hold it. Take the hands to the front of the box. Take that right leg down, tap it towards the headrest, and squeeze your bottom to lift it up. So if you can think that your leg muscles are pulling into your bone, so you're really squeezing that leg as tight as you can to engage every muscle. Good, 3 more, working through the glute, not the back. Nice stable spine from the head to the hips. Next time you're going to hold it up there. Now open your hip wide, pull your elbow and knee towards each other, and then push that leg to the back of the room. So it's like you're moving through molasses. So you're trying to really create some resistance with that right leg. So you're not just flinging that leg in space, you're controlling it in, controlling it out. Really nice job. We're almost done with this. Again, that left leg is talking to you a little bit. But we are going to do a next exercise in the arms, giving the legs a little break. 1 more to go. And then set that leg down. Okay, I'm going to have a seat on the box now. It's something similar to a mermaid position. So the left leg is going to be in like a little pigeon pose. This is going to stretch the hip a little bit that we just worked. And then the right knee is going to go as far back as you can. If you can get it to the back headrest, then that'd be a great place for it. Just depends on how open your hips are. So this is a little bit of a stretch for the low body as we work the arms. So I'd like for you to put on your lightest weight. On this reformer, I have a yellow spring, and that's my very lightest spring, so I'm going to go with that. Take the strap that's closest to you and put it in your right hand. Take that right arm up like you're on the phone, holding that hand beside you. Take the left hand to the side of the box, and you're going to lean to the side as you reach that strap over the head and bring it up. Now let's link some breath. Exhale as you press, and inhale as you come back. Now if you're like me, your heart rate's got a little bit high from all that leg work. So this is an opportunity to breathe, stretch a little bit through the side, maybe bring the heart rate back down a little bit. Starting to warm up through the waistline. Just doing a little side bending. Now the thing I really love about Pilates, there's a lot of things, but is that we worked the spine in every direction. So every direction that your spine can move, we're trying to do each of those in a full class. And so hopefully if I do my job today, you'll feel that your spine has really moved in every direction that it can, and you feel not a lot lighter and more limber and looser after the class, and you just feel much better when you're done. So I want you to do just a few more here. Good, really find that full extension, get that full stretch all the way up and then back. Now take that hand, turn the palm down. Now you're going to twist across your body, and this is more like a chest press. So So you're gonna incorporate your right shoulder and still working the abs, but just a little bit more of the shoulder rotation. Big exhale. Now I should have mentioned, at any point you need a break in the class, you can just simply push the pause button, go grab some water. I won't really take a break, but I definitely encourage you, if you're needing to grab water, I definitely would do that. Take a break whenever you need, and then you just come back and push play and join me again. So just 2 more to go here. And last one. And now we're going to take the strap into the left hand, and your left hand's going to draw the sword up. You're going to go all the way up, stretching the other side, and then bring it back down. So I'm drawing my sword out, but I'm leaning towards my shoulder blocks, getting that big stretch, releasing the arms, stacking my spine, and doing it again. So you're pushing out, getting that nice big stretch, and then releasing the arm. Just 3 more to go in this position. Good, 1 more, and then you have an option. I know this is a really hard one, so you can choose to stay right here and just hold a stretch, which feels really good. Stay there. The other option is to work a little bit of an intense isolated tricep press. So if you're doing this one, I would say no more than 6. That's going to be enough to feel the tricep engage. Really, your form is the most important, so as many as you can do, up to 6 with really good form, keeping those shoulders down away from the neck. Just finding that nice stretch to the side as you work through the back of your left arm. I should be right at about 6. I'm going to do 2 more to finish. And last 1, and done. Good job. Okay, so put that strap away for me for a second. Reach and put your blue spring, and the blue spring should be kind of your medium spring, and then you put the yellow off. So now you're just at 1 blue spring. And we're going to sit facing the shoulder blocks. Pick up both of those straps and put them in both hands. Now first stack the spine, shoulders down, ribs in, abs in. Just start by opening the arms wide with an exhale and inhale out. So every class that I do on my own practice, every class I teach, we're probably doing 2-to-1 ratio of back to chest work. Most of our society, we're very rounded, far forward, that position, and we want to reverse that. So statistics say that every year of your life, you're going to get 1 degree of kyphosis. That means rounded shoulders. So every year, if you do nothing for your back, you're going to have very rounded shoulders, and you're going to be hunched over. And that's one of the great things about Pilates is preventing that. So this exercise in particular is working on strengthening the back so that those muscles are strong enough to keep us upright to improve our posture. So just a few more with this straight pulling back. And then you're going to do more of a diagonal. So your right arm is going to go down, left up. Look to the down arm so that the neck stays relaxed as you go into the diagonal. So just the side to side, still working similar muscles. This whole series here facing our shoulder blocks is all about the back. Again, if you start to get fatigued, you'll know it if you feel your neck starting to take over a little bit. I would definitely say take a little rest. You want to make sure that you're doing everything with really good form. So as you do this video over and over, you could build a little more strength up and be able to maybe complete it. Because I know this is not an easy exercise, nor is it an easy video, so just take it at your own pace, please, and go with a level that feels good for you today. And every day is a little different. All right, that was your last one. One more thing for the back, and then we'll move to the other side. I want you to thread those straps right above the elbows. and then lift your elbows up to shoulder height. Now don't let your shoulders round. Pull your shoulders back, pull your ribs in. You're going to open the elbows wide and then close the elbows. Now ideally those elbows will be up close to shoulder height. If you're feeling it in the neck, then I would take it a little bit lower. I'm never a fan of no pain, no gain. If you're feeling pain, discomfort, anything sharp, then you want to stop and modify. So the key is to move in a position that feels good. You feel the exercise working, and it shouldn't be painful. Let's go 4 more times. Definitely feeling my back now. Last 2 to go. And then I want you to hold your next one out there. So hold it isometric. So those muscles are just holding you in space. And then we're going to move the fingers together to the ceiling, elbows to the waist. So it's just this up and down motion. Exhale as you lift, and inhale as you lower. And you might feel that little burning in the back of the arms. If you do, you're not alone. I feel it too. Last 4 to go. One more, and then I want you to stop at the top, take those hands behind the head. Now the straps are supporting you. Your spine is really long. We're going to do a little bit of short box work here. So I want you to take your back and just lean back. So this is a straight spine, no round. You're leaning as far back as comfortable. When you start to feel the abs kick in, that's your key to stop. And then exhale and lift it up. So you're going back, back, back. Long spine. Inhaling here. Exhale, pull it up. Big deep inhales through the nose. And the whole reason we have that big exhale through the mouth and Pilates is because when you exhale through the mouth, your abs automatically kick in. So that's the best way to breathe to support your spine, to build strong core muscles. Let's do that 2 more times. Back, finding that little shake if you can, and then back up. And then 1 more time back. And you've got it all the way up. And relax. Put your left strap away. We're going to turn now to the right, quarter turn to the right, coming into that modified mermaid. So now you can't see from this angle as well, but the right leg is in that modified pigeon. Your left leg, you'll be able to see a little bit better from this side. It's up against the back shoulder block. First thing I'm going to do is change my weight. Let's put on the yellow, lightest spring you've got. And once you've got that there, the left arm comes right by your ear. You're going to lean to the side and reach the left arm over the head. Now if you're like most of us and you're right-handed, this side's going to be a little bit more challenging. So if you need to modify by doing a few less reps, just make sure every rep you're doing is really good form, taking breaks when you need to. But that's the great thing about unilateral work, is that our dominant side is not helping. So our weaker side has to do all the work, which will make that side stronger over time. So eventually we'll be balanced, and both sides will be our strong side. So 3 more to go here. And then 1 more with that, reaching over the head. Now take that arm palm down, and you're going to chest press across. So a lot of shoulder work here, chest work, but still working the oblique. So anytime we twist through the spine, those diagonal ab muscles have to work. So it's just a twist to the side and back. Let's do that 3 more times. Good. Last exercise on this side, your right hand's going to grab the strap. You're going to draw the sword up and extend. Then reach all the way over your left hand, come to the shoulder block or the headrest, whatever feels good for you. Find your stretch. Relax the arms, stack the spine, and go again. Going up, all the way over to that nice big stretch. Relax the arm, stack the spine, and again, exhale, draw the sword. Now, if you want to challenge, you could definitely do a blue spring here. To me, I find the yellow spring gives me enough work and not so much work that I don't enjoy the stretch. If you've got too much weight pulling you, you might not feel as good of a stretch, maybe a little bit too challenging, but everyone's different, so if you want to put on that blue spring instead of yellow, that would be the next way to make this a little more challenging. All right, one more to go, and now we've got our option. So you can either hold the stretch, or you can go into that tricep press. So my shoulders are relaxed away from the ear, and I'm just extending that right arm straight up with a big exhale and inhaling it down. And last one. I think I may have done a few more on that side, forgetting that was my strong side. So we're going to release that and then come all the way off. So a few things to change. Now, I have the infinity foot bar, so in order for me to do this next exercise, I've got to move my foot bar all the way to the side. Now, if you have a different type of foot bar, you're just going to put the foot bar all the way to the down position. But I've got to move mine all the way out. Once it's out of the way, I'm going to put the red spring on, take my yellow off, and then move the foot bar all the way to the box all the way to the foot bar. And this is where you have a different foot bar. Your box is going to be slanted. Same exercises can be done whether you're slanted up on the foot bar or straight down. Once you've got that there, you're going to pick up your balls again optional. If you don't have the balls, no big deal. And then you're going to have a seat here. So what I'm going to eventually do is lay down, but I first want to put myself in the right position. So I'm going to find kind of my shoulder blades, lay my head back. Really important that your head is on the box, so you want to feel supported in the neck and the shoulders. Once I'm there, I'm coming into a grip. Now your feet can be onto the carriage. A little bit more challenging is your feet up on the shoulder blocks, so you choose either one. I'm going to take the arms up to the ceiling, put a slight bend in my elbow, and then start pushing the legs out as I reach my arms open, pulling the legs in as I close my arms. So it's a big inhale to push and open, and exhale to bend in and reach the arms up. So now I'm working the back of the body, glutes, hamstrings. My spine is stabilizing, so I'm working my core still. And of course I'm working the arms. So really a full body exercise. Three more to go here. Good, now stop at the top and you're going to hold. Take your right leg and lift it up to tabletop. Now the key here is to keep my hips really still and stable. I'm going to let the right leg open out to the side and send the left arm in opposition to the other side. Feel my abs really have to pull in to support me and then come back up. So you're inhaling as you open, 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 and exhale as you close. Now if you notice your hips dropping, try to keep them lifted. So that left leg's on fire, having to stabilize, but your abs are having to work here as well. Let's just do 3 more. Doesn't have to be a big motion. 1 more to go. When you get back up to the top, you're going to do a tricep with the arms, take the left leg straight out, reach the arms up and pull the left leg in. So your right leg is holding that tabletop the best you can, and you're sending the left leg out and the left leg in. We'll go 4 more. And 3. And 2. And Nice job. Put the right foot down. Lift your hips back up if they've lowered, and lift your left leg to tabletop. So let's start on opening the left leg to the left, counterbalancing by opening the right arm to the right, and then pulling it back in. Big inhale, just go out as far as you can. And by as far as I can, if you start to shift through the hips, you feel that you're not in alignment anymore, you may have gone a little too far. So not every big movement is better than a small movement. You might be able to get a little bit more work by going little than trying to make it really big and losing your stability in your spine. We've got 2 more to go here. Keep lifting the right hip. 1 more to go. Good. And then we'll do that tricep. Push the right leg out, bend the arms, bring the right leg in, straighten the arms. And try to get that full extension. Send that right leg out all the way and bend it back in. Almost done here, guys. You're doing really good. 3 more to go. And 2. And last 1. Good. Set both feet down, again on the shoulder blocks or the carriage. Turn your palms to your knees. Now we're going to get a little bit of a stretch as you lower the hips like you're rounding over the box. At the same time, reach the arms over your head until they come towards the foot bar if it's there, or it may not be if you've got a different foot bar. But you're just holding that little stretch, letting the ribs open, letting the heart open. And as you exhale, you're going to peel yourself back up and come back to where you started in the bridge with the arms to the ceiling. So you're just going to find that nice big stretch, letting the hips release, letting the arms go over the head, taking a big inhale. And then exhale back up. And just 1 more like that. Inhale, opening through the chest. Really getting a nice shoulder stretch here. The ball weight is assisting you in that stretch if you're using the balls. And then back up. Now to come out, we're just going to lower the hips down, lower the arms down, gently lift the head, and bring yourself all the way off. You can put those balls back into the headrest. We'll get those a little bit later. And then I'm going to just move my box for a moment to switch to a blue spring. So I'm going to get ready for some planks, and I like to be on a blue spring for that. So you have 1 blue spring on, and then you place your box back, make sure it's secure. So I'm going to be on my elbows with my feet up against the shoulder blocks, elbows on the box. So the very first setup for planks is just keeping the knees down and pushing out and in. I'm focusing on keeping my shoulders away from my ears. Finding that straight line from the crown of the head to the knees as I go out, and then pulling back in. There are so many levels to work with planks. This is a great place to stay. In a lot of my classes, I will just teach this level of plank. Some of my classes may be able to do a little more challenge, and if you want to do that, you can. So instead of the knees staying down, we're going to lift the knees. So you're going to lift the knees up, push the carriage out, bring the carriage in, and lower the knees. So you lift and press, pull in and lower. This way you're getting a little rest between each repetition, putting those knees back down to the carriage. If by chance you want even more work, then just don't set the knees down. And this time you're just going straight out and straight in. So those knees are just staying covered right above the carriage the whole time. Let's go 3 more, whichever variation you're doing. You've got a few options to work with. You can build up as you get stronger. After 3, come home and rest. Okay, take a quarter turn to your right, and you're going to be in the middle of the carriage for a side plank. So I'm going to put my left elbow onto the box and make sure my elbow and shoulder are in a line. I'm going to push the carriage out and now make sure my head, from the crown of the head to my knees, are straight. And I'm not going to move anything in my body. I'm going to move my shoulder, push the carriage out, and pull the carriage in. And your right hand can be on the hip, it can be here on the thigh. But it's almost like there's this string from the crown of the head and it's pulling me long to the side of the room. So again, two options to work with. You can certainly stay here on the knees. If you want more challenge, you can follow me, and we're gonna take the right foot to the front headrest, left foot to the back headrest, and in and out again. Again, this is a little bit, or like a lot more challenging. So you choose, maybe do a few of these and then you go back down. Let's go 3 more wherever you are. And last one. Good job. All right, bring it down. Second exercise to go. So we're back to where we started. The right arm's gonna go to the ceiling. Now the movement comes from the waistline twisting. So you're gonna twist your spine, thread the needle, bringing the right arm through, and then press yourself back out to that straight plank. So you're exhaling as you scoop and thread. Inhale as you reach and extend. So I want you to have that sensation of the right rib and hip squeezing together and peeling apart. And you guessed it, if you want more challenge, you can take your right leg to the front headrest, left leg to the back headrest, continue the motion of doing your thread the needle with the knees lifted. Again, this is not an easy variation, so take it if you feel comfortable. Do as many as you feel you can do in good form. 3 more to go. Last one. Awesome job. Go ahead, rest. All right, we have the other side. So you're going to turn all the way around, half turn to your left, come into the center of your carriage, put your right elbow down, right on top of the shoulder, or right under the shoulder. Take the carriage out. Move from your elbow, press out and in. Again, you have that straight line. If there was a wall behind you, your shoulders, your hips, your knees, everything would be pushed up against that wall. So you're in a straight line. Option 2, left leg to the front shoulder block, right leg to the back shoulder block, pressing out and in. Does not have to be big. Again, sometimes smaller is better, as long as you're breathing. And if the movement's too much, just hold it. You don't have to move. But if you're moving, you've got 3 more. And then you're gonna rest. All right, second variation. You're back to the knees. Left arm up to the ceiling. Take a big inhale to prepare. You're gonna thread the needle, reach the left arm underneath and scoop. And then bring it back up. Big exhale to come in. And inhale. Think of that right rib and hip this time, pulling together and releasing apart. Okay, if you would like the second variation, take the more advanced option, left foot to the front headrest, right foot to the back headrest, lift those hips and scoop and dive, inhale back out to the straight line. Three more to go, you guys. Really good job. Keep it up, you're almost there. One more. And relax all the way down. All right, that was great. We're gonna move on to some short box. So I want you to take your box and place it in short box position right up against the shoulder blocks. You will want those balls, so go ahead and get those balls. And now, you can put the foot bar back, or if you have the infinity foot bar, you can slide it back into position. And I'm going to put the majority of my springs on just so the carriage doesn't move. Have a seat facing your foot bar, and then grab the safety strap, and put the feet under the safety strap. Now I like to push my feet way out to the sides so they're very taut. Sit as far forward as I can, so my hip flexors are relaxed. So this is the way that I learned it, legs straight, or legs can also be straight. That's another option. So I'm gonna hold the balls, reach the arms in front of you. Take a nice inhale. I'm gonna scoop and roll all the way back. And then as you exhale, you're gonna sit back up. Now, I have to admit that 3-pound balls are pretty challenging for this one. So if this feels like it's too much, especially if you're feeling in the neck and the shoulders, then I would take the balls out of the equation. Good. Or maybe do a few with the balls and then do a few without the balls. Good. One more. Now you're going to take your right arm and reach it out as you lean back. Like you're listening over the right arm, leaning out, and then bringing it back in. And then to the left, you're going to reach, lengthen, listen, and come back in. Just 4 more to go. Last one here. Good. Take the balls right to your sternum. Scoop your abdominals, roll back. You're going to hold the balls together and just do a little side to center twist. Now I'm twisting from my waist. My hips are not moving. I'm staying really still through the hips and just feeling that isolation of the rib cage. 4 more to go, guys. Last 2 and 1 and sit up tall. All right, take one hand and put the ball to the headrest. You don't need that one anymore. And then take a quarter turn to your right. So your left foot, you're going to slide as far to the forward as you can. And then I do like my headrest down. So if yours was up, go ahead and put it down. And I'm going to hold the ball in my right hand. I'm going to lean out to the side and push my left foot up into that safety strap. So I've got that straight line from the left foot to the crown of my head. My left hand can be behind my head or by my side. Release the right hand away from the headrest, and let's dip down into the well, and then use your abdominals to lift it back up. Again, the weight is optional, so it's going to make it a little more challenging to do your lower lift. If that's too much, don't worry about the weight. We're doing about 8 to 10 of each exercise today, provided my counting's on. So you've got about 2 more to go here. Good. And then you're going to put the elbow onto the headrest. Take the left arm and reach it over your head. Now, you can let the ball go as well. If you're pretty tall, I'm about 5'10", so for me, I can reach the ground. And I do like this as a little bit of a deeper stretch, but obviously that's not going to work for everyone. So depending on your height and your flexibility, you can either choose to have the elbow, and some people even like to have the hand. So you might be at the hand, you could be at the elbow, you could be at the floor. Again, choose what feels good for you and your body today. So you're just finding that stretch in the side. And then our second stretch is your left hand's going to come to the wood, your right hand will come to the wood, and then you're just going to let yourself release, like you're just pushing your body in towards the well. Take any work and tension out of the head, neck, and shoulders, and just let that relax. This is one of those that you're grateful that you get to do the second side, or at least I'm grateful that there are 2 sides. So this is the first one, although I never want to come out of the first side. So if you want to pause it and hang out here for like 10 minutes, I would not blame you. But I'm going to keep going. So we're going to come all the way up. Just be very careful coming up. That side is nice and stretched out. So you want to use your arms to kind of move around and not your abs. Okay, so we're going to put the right foot into the strap, slide it as far to the front corner of the reformer as you can, really pulling up on that strap finding that straight line from the foot to the crown of the head. Option, grab your weight, and you're going to lean down towards the floor with that left arm and lift it back up with a big exhale. Sometimes in order to get me through this exercise, I think about that stretch waiting for me. Really the only reason I like to do this exercise is the stretch at the end, to be 100% honest. But it's a really good exercise, so I will endure for 3 more. Nice job, you've got 1 more, pull it all the way up, and set the ball down. 3 options, hand to the shoulder block, elbow to the shoulder block, hand to the floor, reach that right arm all the way up and over, and just enjoy the stretch. Now I will say that some of my clients like to grab on to the poles, onto the ropes. If you can give yourself a little pull, you'll get a little traction to the back that might feel really amazing. I'm a little, again, on the tall side, so I can kind of pull onto that riser. But if that's too far away, just maybe grab onto the rope and give yourself a little tug. And then the second stretch, we're going to bring the right arm to the wood, left arm to the wood, a little bit of a twist, and then just melt down to the reformer. And feel free to hang out here as long as you'd like. We do have just a little bit more work standing, and then we will finish today's class with more of your traditional laying down. So you don't want to leave before that kind of dessert. So you've done most of the hard work, just a little bit more hard work to go, and then we're going to lay down and put feet on the straps. All right, so when you're ready, bring yourself all the way up again. Use your hands. I always find my back really tender after all of that stretching, and come up. Okay, so a little change in our spring weight. Let's go to a red and yellow and take everything else off. I'm going to stand up and face my foot bar, or excuse me, my box, and my right foot, ball foot's going to be against the foot bar. Now I'm going to bend my knees a little bit, kind of into this runner's position. So this left leg has a little bend. We're not locked out at all. Tiny little bend, and then push all the way out through the right leg and bring it all the way in. Now, do have clients who have wrist problems, and putting weight on the wrist does not feel good. For this one, if that is the case, think about putting more weight back into the legs. Like, you don't have to even put any weight in the arms. You can be sinking back into that runner's position and just have minimal weight in the hands. Now, for more challenge, you might not even use the hands, but I will say that's pretty hard. So take that if you feel comfortable. If not, put the hands back down. Your focus here is on that right leg, getting full press all the way out and all the way in. Good. Back the neck's long, shoulders down your back. All those good Pilates principles you want to think of every exercise you're doing. Now go out one more time and then come halfway in. Give me little pulses, tiny, just tiny, holding that work into the belly of the muscle. You got it. Last 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. I like to finish with all the way out. I know it's hard. 1 more all the way out, and back in. Okay. Now, you'll take your red spring off. Be very careful because you only have a yellow on. So yellow spring, really light. Right foot comes on top of the box. Left hand grabs the strap. Find your right elbow to the right knee. Find a straight line in the spine. And then just start pulling that left arm straight back. Big exhale to sweep back. So again, here we are working the back of the body again. Working all those great posture muscles. Through the back of the arms, back of the shoulders. Abs are engaged as always. You're not resting into your right arm, you're kind of lifting up and out of it. So you're keeping your shoulders away from your neck as always. Okay, one more time. I want you to hold this one back for me and give me some tricep. So bend the elbow, and then straighten the arm. And bend the elbow, and straighten the elbow. So your goal is to keep that elbow as high as you can. Really working on that tricep, back of the arm. Good. Okay, one more. We're going to do that same thing again. So you have two options. You're going to do one straight arm pull and one tricep press. The change is going to be in what is happening with the right leg. So if you want to just stay here, this would be a great position just to continue doing one of each end. If you want more challenge, your right hand's going to come to the box, your right foot's going to go back. Now you're going to find more balance and do one straight arm press and one bent tricep. So again, if this is not good on your wrist, or if it's way too much balance for you, then go back to the first option. And you can always build up to this option over time. You guys are doing really good. We're almost done with this standing work before we lay down. Let's do one more set. One straight arm press, one bent arm. The last one here. Good, and then release. All right, put that strap back onto the peg. Put your red middle spring back on. So you're one red, one yellow, and let's do the other side. So left foot, ball the foot up against the foot bar, bending into that right knee, and then push it all the way out and back in. So your gaze is important. If you're looking too high, your neck will be a little tweaked. If you're looking too low, your shoulders will round. So I kind of like to look straight down to the edge of the box, keep my shoulders down my back, keeping the back of the neck long, pulling my abs in. All right, we've got 3 more straight leg presses. All the way, full range. And now come halfway, give me those little bitty pulses, 10, 9, 8, 7. You've got it. Almost there, guys, 2 more. And then I'd like to finish with 1 more full range all the way out. You can do it all the way and back. Good job. Take your red spring off. You are left with just a yellow. Left foot onto the box. Grab the right strap with the right hand. Left elbow onto the left knee. And you'll start with a straight arm press with that right arm. Now, I did not mention this on the other side, but if this isn't hard enough for you, you can always choke up, and you could grab higher up on the strap. You can even grab for the tape. So I do have some clients where their arms are pretty strong, and this yellow may not be enough for them. So if that's the case, especially on the straight arm press, feel free to grab up, choke up a little bit higher on that strap to give yourself more challenge. Just do that 2 more times, and then we'll hold it back for the tricep. Now the tricep, you may want to change your grip again and just stay with holding in the strap, because this is a pretty hard one. So elbows lifted, shoulders back, abs in, pushing out of my left arm so I'm not sagging there. Good. And then the arm comes down. Now, your choice again. Stay in the same position and do 1 straight arm pull and 1 tricep. So you're just going to be alternating this 2 exercises we just did. So that's your choice, alternating. Or second option, left leg's going to go back, left hand goes onto the box, and you'll alternate here. So this is going to incorporate a little more balance, a little more coordination. So if you feel comfortable with it, go forward. If not, you can keep the left foot on the box. This is your workout, so you've got to make it work for you. And every day is different. Some days I come on the reformer and I want to do one thing, and my body is telling me no way. So listen to your body and do what your body's saying is going to work for you today. It's all about longevity, being able to do Pilates over time versus going too intense, getting injured, not being able to continue. So again, slow and steady wins the race. Let's do that. One more on each, please. One straight arm press, and one tricep. And release. Put that strap away. Awesome job. You've made it. We're gonna lay down. Hallelujah. Put the box away. Just set it out of the way. You're not gonna need it anymore. If you have the loop band, you can remove that. If you have the balls, you can remove those. Just set all of those pieces of equipment to the side. Put yourself on a red and a blue and take everything off. So one red, one blue, lay it on down, and we're gonna finish with our feet into the straps. So grab onto the straps, push all the way out, take your right foot into the right strap, put your left foot in the left strap, put your tailbone down, come into a frog. Knees right in line with the hips. Tailbone's heavy, so I have that natural curl in my spine. Arms just resting to the sides, and you'll start by exhale, squeezing those legs together, find the energy of the legs, and then resist back in. So now even though we're laying down, and we've got our feet in the straps, and all is right, it's not a time to kind of zone out. This is a time to zone in and really feel what's happening. So if you can really squeeze those leg muscles into the bones, feel the legs working and engaging, you'll be getting a lot more out of this versus just kind of flinging the legs around and not really putting the effort and attention into it. So you've done a really good job so far, so let's just finish up literally 3 or 4 more minutes of quality motion and movement. And then you can enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully feeling a lot stronger, longer, stretched out, and ready to conquer whatever you've got going on today. So 2 more of these froggies. And then the next time the legs are straight, you're going to hold them there. Put your big toes together. Inhale, send the legs up. Now you want to keep your tailbone down. So it's like you have an opposition to stretch. If I push my tailbone into the mat, then I've got something that I'm stretching against. If I let my tailbone lift, then I've kind of lost the stretch a little bit. Exhale and pull it back down. Now having said that, I do teach both variations with the tailbone down and the tailbone up. Usually I will lift the tailbone if I wanted to get more into the low back stretch. But right now I'm wanting to stretch those hamstrings because we did quite a bit of hamstring work today. So I'm pushing my tailbone down, I'm sending my legs up, finding the edge of my stretch, and then exhaling and pulling back down. Let's do that one more time, and then we'll do the opposite. So you're going to let your hips lift and go into a little bit of a short spine, kind of a little short spine variation. So you just let the hips roll up, let the hips roll down, and then push away. So this one you may feel more in the back, feeling a little bit bigger stretch through the spine, which for me always feels really good at the end of the class too. Just kind of lengthening and decompressing through the back. do that just one more time, and this time when you come down, you're going to go right into your circles. So you let your hips go down, let your legs go down, and then nice and wide, you're going to circle all the way out to touch both sides of the room, all the way back up to the ceiling together. Now I know with the legs and straps, there's different schools of thought. If you want to work more strength, more stability, you can definitely make these circles smaller and just work on that. But since we're at the end of the class, your legs are warmed up, you can work more, if you like me, big circles, working more on flexibility, range of motion, stretching. Feels really good, at least for me, it feels really nice at the end of the class to do all of this great leg work. So I do tend to like my circles a lot bigger, especially if I'm doing them as more of a stretch at the end of class. Just do that one more time, please. Down and around, and when you get to the top, you're just going to reverse the circle, going out first, pulling the legs down, all the way down to the wall together, and then back up. This is a great time just to reconnect to the breath. Taking big, deep inhales through the nose as the legs come up. And nice big exhales as the legs go around. We'll do that 2 more times, just enjoying these last 2 circles. And then pull your knees into the chest, come into a little butterfly stretch. So your knees are going to go wide, the soles of the feet come together. If this is enough stretch, stay here. If you want more, you can pull onto the straps with your hands and just kind of let your low back push into the mat. You can even push your elbows into your knees and get that stretch. So whatever feels best for you, making it as active as you'd like. Take one more deep inhale. And one more nice exhale. And when you're ready, you can send the feet out of the straps. Put the straps back onto the peg. You're going to roll all the way up and off the reformer, and you have made it. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope that you can join me for another workout soon.